The galaxy had almost forgotten Earth. Its blue oceans and green forests were a memory buried beneath millennia of silence. The Stellar Council, a coalition of advanced alien civilizations, had long deemed humans primitive, a fragile species with nothing to offer among the stars. They called Earth the extinct world. Admiral Varnock of the Tyrex Dominion, a towering insectoid with chitinous armor that glimmered under starlight, gazed at the holographic map of the Milky Way. "The humans are gone," he said, his many eyes reflecting the projected system charts. "We need not waste resources on the primitive. They are no threat." Yet whispers persisted. Strange signals, untraceable transmissions from the edges of the Orion sector, hinted at life, human life. The Stellar Council dismissed them as cosmic noise. But on the abandoned research station orbiting Epsilon Prime, a lone human vessel slid silently through the void. Its name was Artemis, sleek, dark, almost invisible against the black canvas of space. Captain Celine Maury, human, mid-30s, with steel-gray eyes and a presence that commanded attention, stared at the bridge displays. The Artemis had been refitted in secrecy over centuries, using remnants of alien technology scavenged from derelict ships. Humanity had survived not by hiding on Earth alone, but by adapting, evolving, and learning the art of war and strategy. "Captain," said Lieutenant Huron, a young engineer with a cybernetic arm, "signal detection shows multiple fleets converging on the Vega cluster. They're scanning for humans," Celine interrupted, her voice calm but deadly. "They will find us soon enough. Prepare the defensive protocols. I want full shields and the quantum decoys ready." Varnock's fleet was massive, thousands of ships, each capable of annihilating a planet in minutes. But humans had something the galaxy underestimated: adaptability. They didn't rely on brute force alone, they relied on cunning, psychology, and unpredictability. As the Artemis slipped into a hidden nebula, sensors flickered with unusual readings. "Captain, the nebula's energy is resonating. Almost like it's alive." Celine's eyes narrowed. "Good. Use it. Activate the stealth field. Let them think we are weak. Let them think we are still primitive." Meanwhile, on the Stellar Council, debate raged. Ambassador Queln of the Aquari, a cephalopod-like race, argued passionately. "The signals are too structured to be natural phenomena. I propose a scouting force to investigate. If humans remain even in hiding, they could disrupt trade routes across this sector." Counselor Brack of the Kronax, a reptilian strategist, laughed. "Disturbing trade routes? Against a species we crushed centuries ago? Let us not exaggerate our enemies." But Queln's instincts were sharper than Brack realized. Humans were not just surviving, they were learning, evolving. Every defeat they had endured had been studied and exploited. Back on the Artemis, Celine convened her crew in the strategy room. A holographic star map projected countless vessels moving toward Vega. "They think they can trap us," she said. "But every strategy they have is predictable. Every assumption about us is wrong. Today they will learn why humans survive against impossible odds." The plan was audacious, a direct assault on a minor fleet, not with overwhelming firepower, but with precision strikes, deception, and rapid adaptability. Humans had perfected something no alien species had: the ability to think and act in ways that defied conventional logic. As Artemis ships slipped through the nebula, using the cloud to mask their movements, Celine's voice came over the comm. "Remember, they underestimate us. That is our greatest weapon." The first clash was sudden. Tyrex scouts emerged from hyperspace, expecting a trapped prey. Instead, they found voids where the human ships had been, mines and unexpected vectors, and ghostly images of the Artemis projected across the battlefield. Chaos erupted among the alien fleet. Ships collided in panic. Tactical formations crumbled. Varnock's voice roared through the comm. "What trickery is this? They are ghosts." "They are humans," Celine whispered to herself, a smile touching her lips. "And they are not gone." The first strike was won, but the war had only begun. Every alien underestimated humans. Every calculation failed to account for human resilience, cunning, and willpower. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity was not a relic of history, they were the apex challenge, a force that could not be ignored. As the Artemis slipped back into the nebula, silent and victorious, Celine addressed her crew. "Today we reminded the galaxy we exist. Tomorrow they will understand why humans never surrender." Outside the nebula, distant stars shimmered like the eyes of the galaxy watching. And somewhere, far across the void, human settlements long thought extinct continued to thrive, ready to rise. The galaxy's council had been warned. Humanity was awake. The victory at Vega was a whisper that rippled through the galaxy. The Tyrex Dominion, humiliated by a handful of human ships, scrambled to report the anomaly. Within the Stellar Council chambers, alarms echoed as holographic displays projected the unexpected chaos. Scout fleets destroyed, flagship formations scattered, and alien captains reporting ghost ships, maneuvering impossibly fast. Ambassador Queln's tentacles fluttered nervously as he addressed the council. They are not extinct. They are organized. And more dangerous than we anticipated. Counselor Brack hissed, his scales bristling. Dangerous? This is merely a scouting fleet. Surely humans cannot sustain such tactics against a proper armada. Scouting fleet. Queln's voice hardened. They annihilated 20% of a Tyrex reconnaissance armada with less than a tenth of our forces. Do not underestimate them. The humans are cunning, adaptive, unpredictable. Across the void, Captain Celine Maury of the Artemis convened her council once more. They'll send everything they have next. We can't hide forever, she said, tapping the holographic map. Star clusters shimmered under her hands, the Vega cluster in flames from orbital bombardments that never hit human ships. Lieutenant Huron leaned forward, cybernetic arm whirring. Our minds, cloaked decoys and maneuvering algorithms were effective, but against their main fleet? We can't rely on trickery alone. Celine's gray eyes reflected steel determination. Then we'll innovate. They expect humans to fight like the rest of the galaxy, linearly, predictably. We will fight like humans. Unconventional. Relentless. Creative. Her plan was audacious. Rather than hiding, humanity would confront the Tyrex Dominion head-on, not with overwhelming numbers, but by turning the alien advantage into a liability. The Artemis would lead a strike force to the Tyrex staging grounds near the pulsar world of Vrilya Prime. As the human ships slipped into hyperspace, alien sensors detected the movement almost immediately. Admiral Varnox snarled, his multi-jointed limbs clattering. The humans, they are attacking. Prepare the fleet. Crush them before they can strike. Yet as Tyrex ships gathered, human ingenuity struck. Using a combination of gravity wells, quantum scramblers, and electromagnetic pulses harvested from the pulsar, the humans twisted space itself into a trap. Ships that entered the system found themselves slowed, turned, and misdirected. One by one, alien vessels collided or were forced into energy fields that ripped through their hulls. On the bridge of the Artemis, Celine observed with quiet satisfaction. See? Every assumption they make about us is wrong. Every expectation exploited. Huron glanced at her in awe. Captain, the fleet, they can't even form a proper line. It's chaos. Good, Celine replied. Chaos is a human weapon. And we wield it better than anyone. Meanwhile, the Stellar Council convened an emergency session. Alien diplomats, generals, and spies argued furiously. Queln pleaded for caution. We cannot underestimate them. They are reorganizing, adapting faster than we can anticipate. Every strike teaches them something new. Counselor Brack slammed a claw on the table. They are only a species of survivors. We have crushed worlds before. How is it possible that humans, primitive, fragile humans, wield such strategy? That night, aboard the Artemis, Celine walked alone through the dim corridors of the flagship. Memories of Earth, forests, oceans, the smell of rain, haunted her. She understood something fundamental. Humans survived because they were not perfect, not invincible. They were flawed, adaptable, relentless. Every loss forged them stronger. The first major engagement of the campaign began near Vrilya Prime. Tyrex warships formed a crescent around the pulsar, confident in their firepower. But humans, using precision strikes, diverted energy beams to collapse orbital debris onto the enemy, used remote drones to hack navigation systems, and projected holographic duplicates of entire fleets. Ships that should have obliterated the humans instead fired blindly into empty space. In the midst of battle, Celine transmitted a message directly to Varnox's flagship. Her voice, calm and measured, echoed through the alien hull. This is Captain Celine Maury of humanity. You have underestimated us. You have miscalculated. You have assumed we are weak. And now you will learn why humans endure when all else fails. Varnox's mandibles clicked in disbelief. They speak, and they are fearless. How is this possible? The answer unfolded in real time. Human ships darted through energy fields, striking vital nodes with surgical precision, then vanished before retaliation. Entire alien formations collapsed in minutes. What should have been a decisive Tyrex advantage became a liability. Their sheer predictability was their undoing. By the end of the engagement, the Tyrex were forced to retreat. Thousands of vessels lay destroyed, their armadas shattered by a fraction of humanity's fleet. But Celine knew better than to celebrate. The galaxy was waking up to humans. Soon no one would underestimate them. As the Artemis slipped through the debris-filled orbit of Vrilia Prime, Celine addressed her crew. This is only the beginning. Today we have shown them a glimpse of what humanity is capable of. Tomorrow the galaxy will see the full fire of our species. Every planet, every fleet, every system we touch will know, humans are not extinct. We are evolution perfected by survival, cunning, and will. Huron's cybernetic eyes glimmered. Captain, they'll send everything now. This is war on a scale no one predicted. Celine's eyes hardened, a shadow of a smile crossing her face. Good. Then let them come. We will show the galaxy what it truly means to fight against humans. We will remind them that survival is not weakness. It is supremacy. Far across the void, distant stars pulsed with cold light. The whispers of humanity, long thought silenced, had become a roar that would shake the foundations of the galaxy itself. The Tyrex Dominion's retreat from Vrilia Prime left a trail of devastation. Across the Stellar Council, shockwaves of disbelief spread like wildfire. Never before had a species, dismissed as primitive, inflicted such damage with limited forces. The whispers of humanity grew louder, turning into urgent conversations in the council chambers. Ambassador Queln of the Aquari tentacles twitched in frustration. We cannot continue to ignore them. They are not only surviving, they are advancing. They are reclaiming what we assumed lost centuries ago. Counselor Brack hissed in disbelief. How is this possible? Their technology, their tactics, they are learning from us faster than we can react. It is unnatural. But humanity did not wait for approval or fear from the galaxy. Captain Celine Mori had no intention of merely surviving. Humanity's resurgence was strategic, precise, and unstoppable. From the Artemis Bridge, Celine surveyed a map of the Orion and Perseus sectors. Red dots flickered, the remnants of Tyrex outposts, weakly defended but rich in resources. We will reclaim them, she said softly. Every outpost, every station, every derelict shipyard will be ours. They believed humans extinct. They believed the galaxy safe. They were wrong. Lieutenant Huron, his cybernetic arm scanning incoming data, nodded. Captain, we can use the abandoned Tyrex tech to reinforce our fleet. Rebuild faster than they expect. They'll think it is luck, but it will be strategy. Celine smiled. Luck is for the unimaginative. We are humans. We do not leave anything to chance. Their first target was the moon station of Krelther, orbiting a gas giant in the outer Perseus arm. The station had once been a Tyrex forward base, bristling with cannons and energy grids. On the surface, Tyrex engineers had left behind partially operational defense drones and decaying turrets, ripe for repurposing. The Artemis approached under the cover of a radiation storm, its hull cloaked and sensors masked. They will not see us coming, Celine whispered. They never do. As the fleet emerged from hyperspace, human engineers hacked the drone networks remotely, turning them against the station's defenders. Turrets once aimed at the void now fired at their own ships. Shields faltered as human crews coordinated precision strikes on structural weak points. Within hours, the station fell silently, its takeover complete without significant human casualties. Back in the Stellar Council chambers, reports of Krelther's fall ignited panic. Queln tentacles lashed in anxiety. It's not just attacks, it's reclamation. They are learning, adapting, integrating alien technology. They are evolving faster than any species I have known. Even Brack, usually composed, growled in frustration. We must consider forming a counter-alliance. Alone, our fleets cannot withstand human ingenuity. Meanwhile, Celine convened a meeting with her fleet commanders aboard Artemis. The galaxy fears what we have already done, she said. But fear alone does not win wars. We must be the storm. Swift. Relentless. Smart. We will strike at their supply lines, liberate systems, and let every species see that humans are not a force to control, they are a force to respect, or fear. The humans' next move was daring, intercepting a Tyrex convoy transporting critical antimatter cores. The convoy was heavily guarded, a floating fortress of warships. Most species would have retreated. Humans saw opportunity. Using a combination of decoy drones, wormhole misdirections, and rapid strike teams, the human fleet shattered the convoy. Key ships were captured intact, their technology repurposed. Entire sectors were stunned. No species had ever executed such precise interstellar sabotage without mass casualties. During the battle, Selene transmitted a message directly to the Tyrex High Command. You underestimated us. You assumed we were weak. You assumed extinction. We are neither. Humanity survives. Humanity adapts. And humanity will not be contained. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans not as survivors, but as apex predators of strategy. The Tyrex Dominion, Cronax warlords, and Aquari admirals began to reconsider centuries of assumed superiority. The Artemis fleet pressed onward, liberating human colonies thought destroyed, reclaiming lost research stations, and building an interstellar infrastructure invisible to the Council. Humans had learned the most vital skill of all, patience. They struck where the Council did not expect, moving faster than any bureaucracy could react, smarter than any military could predict. One night, as Selene walked the observation deck, Huron joined her. Captain, every star we touch, they whisper about humans now. They fear us, but we are still so few. Selene's gaze lingered on the distant nebulae. Fear is not our enemy. Indifference is. Once they realize humans cannot be ignored, the galaxy will bend, or break. And we will be ready no matter what comes. Far away in a neutral system, a clandestine gathering of alien spies, scientists, and strategists murmured in alarm. The humans, they are everywhere, one said. And they are learning faster than the rest of the galaxy combined. If they continue like this. The thought hung in the void, unfinished. The galaxy had underestimated the humans, and that mistake would echo for centuries. The rise of the Forgotten was no accident. It was deliberate. It was inevitable. Humanity was not just returning, they were reshaping the galaxy in their image, unpredictable, unstoppable, and utterly unyielding. And somewhere deep in the uncharted sectors, the remnants of Earth's oldest colonies stirred, their hidden fleets preparing to join the fight. The legend of humanity was growing, and the galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy trembled. The Stellar Council's confidence in their supremacy had been shattered. Across the sectors, whispers of human audacity spread like wildfire. Ships that had once dismissed Earth as extinct now recalculated every move, every strategy, every assumption. Captain Selene Mori stood on the bridge of the Artemis, her gray eyes fixed on the map of the Lyris cluster. They are mobilizing, she said, tapping a cluster of red dots representing Tyrex and Cronax fleets converging. This will be their largest force yet. But it's perfect. They think they can crush us. They don't understand humans. Lieutenant Huron's cybernetic arm flickered with incoming reports. Captain, there are over 7,000 enemy vessels moving toward the Solstice Nebula. They've learned nothing. They think sheer numbers will win. They will be wrong. Selene's lips curved into a small, grim smile. Prepare the fleet. We will turn their arrogance into their undoing. The plan was audacious. Rather than meet the enemy directly, humans would use the Solstice Nebula itself as a weapon. Its dense ion clouds, violent magnetic storms, and labyrinthine gravitational anomalies were perfect for traps. Tyrex and Cronax fleets, confident in their coordination, would become victims of the environment they assumed they could master. As the enemy fleet approached, the humans activated the first phase. Decoy signals projected across hyperspace, creating illusions of a scattered, vulnerable fleet. Tyrex admirals, arrogant in their assumptions, gave the order to divide their forces, eager to crush what they believed was a disorganized human remnant. But the Artemis and her fleet lay hidden in the heart of the nebula. Using modified warp drives and quantum scramblers, humans struck from unexpected angles. Gravity wells pulled enemy ships into collisions, magnetic storms short-circuited advanced targeting arrays, and human fighter squadrons darted through the chaos, striking vital command nodes with surgical precision. From the bridge, Selene watched the alien formations unravel. Huron, the Cronax dreadnoughts. Reroute the ion pulse fields. Let them collide. We'll give them a lesson they won't forget. In minutes, what should have been an unstoppable armada was in disarray. Tyrex and Cronax ships collided, some venting atmospheres into space as their crews scrambled for survival. Human ships moved like shadows, striking, disappearing, and striking again. Meanwhile, in the Stellar Council chambers, chaos erupted. Ambassador Queln's tentacles twitched violently. They've turned the nebula into a weapon. This is beyond any strategy I've ever seen. How are humans doing this? Counselor Brack hissed, pacing in frustration. They are not predictable. Every tactic, every response, every move, it is genius. It is horrifying. As the battle raged, Celine transmitted a message directly to the enemy admirals, her voice calm, controlled, and piercing. You assumed humans are weak. You assumed we can be crushed by numbers. You assumed history gives you advantage. You were wrong. We are not extinct. We are evolution perfected through survival, cunning, and will. Today you witness humanity's apex. Her words echoed across the void, unsettling even the most disciplined alien commanders. Tyrex fleets faltered, Kronax dreadnoughts hesitated, and the Aquari, observing from distant stations, recoiled in shock. Amidst the chaos, human ingenuity revealed another weapon: adaptive technology. Captured alien vessels were reprogrammed mid-battle, turning the enemy's own weapons against them. Energy beams reversed course, shields deactivated at critical moments, and command systems rerouted, leaving alien captains helpless. By the end of the engagement, thousands of alien ships lay destroyed or disabled. The nebula, once feared as a dangerous, unpredictable zone, became a tomb for overconfidence and arrogance. Humanity had struck not with raw numbers, but with precision, strategy, and adaptability that no alien species had anticipated. On board the Artemis, Celine addressed her fleet. Today we have proven once again, humans are not to be underestimated. They think they are the masters of the galaxy. But we are the storm that no one predicted. We are the apex. But even as they celebrated, Celine knew the war was far from over. The Council would respond, larger fleets would converge, and no species would ignore the threat humanity posed. Yet humans had something no alien race could replicate: the ability to endure, adapt, and outthink any opponent. Every defeat they had suffered, every loss endured across centuries, had forged a species that was not just strong, but unstoppable in its cunning. In secret colonies scattered across uncharted sectors, human engineers and strategists worked tirelessly, preparing for the next wave. Starship yards hummed with activity, new vessels designed for speed, adaptability, and ingenuity. Hidden weapons, beyond the comprehension of even the most advanced alien scientists, were ready to deploy. Celine stood at the observation deck, staring into the storm of stars. Huron joined her. "Captain, they fear us now. But they will come back with everything they have." Celine's gaze was steady, unwavering. "Let them come. The galaxy has never faced humans like us. Every assumption, every arrogance, every miscalculation will be their downfall. We are not extinct. We are evolution perfected. And the galaxy will remember it." Outside, the stars shimmered like distant witnesses, the void of space filled with the echoes of human resilience. Humanity was no longer hidden, no longer underestimated. They had become a force the galaxy could not ignore. The shadows of war stretched across the stars, and humanity stood at the center, relentless, cunning, and unstoppable. The Stellar Council had never experienced panic like this. For centuries they had believed humans extinct, an obsolete species incapable of interstellar influence. Now reports streamed in from across the galaxy. Entire fleets dismantled, colonies reclaimed, supply lines disrupted, and alien technology repurposed against its owners. The whispers of fear had turned into open alarm. In the council chambers, Ambassador Queln of the Aquari waved his tentacles emphatically. "They are everywhere. Tyrex fleets cannot even defend their outer sectors. Kronax warlords are losing command nodes to human sabotage. This is unprecedented." Counselor Brack growled, his scales bristling with unease. "We underestimated them. Every calculation, every historical assumption, every strategy, irrelevant. They are superior in ways we cannot fully comprehend." Meanwhile, Captain Celine Maury stood on the bridge of the Artemis, surrounded by her commanders and fleet officers. Star clusters stretched endlessly before them, dotted with the weakly defended outposts that would soon join humanity's growing influence. "We've proven we can survive against impossible odds," Celine said, her voice calm and commanding. "Now we show the galaxy why humans endure, and why humans dominate." Their first move was audacious: a simultaneous strike across multiple systems, targeting critical infrastructure and supply lines of the Tyrex Dominion, Kronax fleets, and Aquari trading hubs. Using hyperspace jump points previously uncharted, human fleets appeared in unexpected sectors, dismantling defensive satellites, capturing starports, and turning enemy ships into assets for the human cause. Lieutenant Huron monitored incoming data. "Captain, they don't understand our patterns. Every fleet movement we make is unpredictable, every strike calculated yet seemingly chaotic. They are panicking. Tyrex High Command is losing control." Celine's gray eyes gleamed. Let them panic. Chaos favors the prepared mind. Humanity thrives in chaos. In one particularly daring operation, humans infiltrated the Kronak stronghold of Rixer Prime, a planet heavily fortified with orbital cannons and planetary defense grids. Rather than a full assault, Selene dispatched a small, highly trained strike team using stealth pods. They bypassed surface defenses, disabled planetary energy nodes, and turned the defensive systems against the Kronak's forces. Within hours, Rixer Prime fell, not with firepower alone but with ingenuity, precision, and the psychological shock of humans striking where no one believed they could. The galaxy began to take notice. Alien diplomats, scientists, and strategists whispered in fear. Reports described humans as a species that anticipates, adapts, and executes with impossible precision. For the first time, the Stellar Council admitted a truth no species had ever accepted. Humans were not merely survivors, they were apex strategists, engineers, and warriors. Yet, Selene understood that victory was not measured in conquest alone. The next step was forming alliances with alien factions who had long been oppressed or ignored by the Council. Using diplomacy, negotiation, and strategic gestures, humanity secured the loyalty of isolated systems, integrating their fleets and knowledge into the human war effort. During a high-level council on the Artemis, Selene addressed her assembled allies. The galaxy has forgotten what it means to be underestimated. Together we will reshape it. Every system we touch, every fleet we liberate will remember humanity, not as a threat but as inevitability. Her words resonated across the holographic projection of allied species leaders. Cephalopods, reptilians, and sentient AI representatives nodded in understanding. Humanity's reputation had grown beyond fear. It inspired hope, loyalty, and unshakable respect. But the Council's remnants were not idle. A massive coalition fleet, Tyrex, Kronax, Aquari, and others, gathered in the Lysara Rift, determined to crush humanity before they could consolidate their influence. It was the largest armada the galaxy had ever seen, stretching across light years, bristling with weaponry designed to annihilate entire planets. Selene's response was characteristically human, audacious, unpredictable, and brilliant. Instead of meeting the armada head-on, she exploited the rift's unique spatial anomalies. Gravity wells, temporal distortions, and electromagnetic storms were used as both shield and weapon. Enemy fleets were funneled into narrow corridors, forced to fight in terrain designed by humans for maximum advantage. As battle erupted, humans revealed their secret edge, adaptive learning AI that could anticipate enemy tactics in real time, coupled with pilots trained in unconventional maneuvers. Ships that should have been destroyed instead moved with impossible agility, striking at command nodes, weapon arrays, and critical energy conduits. Alien fleets faltered, formations shattered, and panic spread across the coalition. Amid the chaos, Selene transmitted a single, cold message. Every species assumed humans were extinct. Every calculation assumed we were weak. Every assumption was wrong. Humanity survives. Humanity adapts. Humanity dominates. And now the galaxy remembers. By the battle's end, thousands of alien vessels lay in ruin. Systems once thought firmly under Council control had fallen, and human influence expanded like wildfire. The galaxy's perception of humanity had shifted irrevocably. They were not just survivors, they were masters of strategy, adaptability, and sheer will. As the Artemis slipped through the void, Selene addressed her fleet in the aftermath. Today we have done more than win a battle. We have changed the galaxy's understanding of humanity. They underestimated us as all did. But now, they cannot. We are the storm they ignored, the apex they refused to believe in, and the future they cannot prevent. Huron glanced at her, awed. Captain, the galaxy will never be the same. Selene's gaze hardened, unwavering. Good. That is exactly how it should be. And somewhere, deep within hidden sectors and lost colonies, the true scale of humanity's resurgence began to reveal itself. Fleets growing stronger, colonies united, and a species once written off as extinct now standing as an unstoppable force ready to claim its place among the stars. The surge of humanity had begun, and the galaxy could do nothing but bear witness. The Stellar Council had reached the edge of desperation. The galaxy's most advanced species, Tyrex, Kronax, Aquari, and countless minor powers, had assembled the largest fleet in history. Every starship, dreadnought, and orbital cannon was deployed to crush humanity once and for all. From the council chambers, holograms of the massive armada stretched across light years, a living wall of firepower. Captain Maury, said Admiral Brack over a secure transmission, his voice unusually tense, Your species is impossible to predict. You've destroyed fleets, claimed worlds, and rallied alien systems. We cannot allow this to continue. Surrender now and perhaps, we will preserve what remains of your colonies. Celine's eyes narrowed. Surrender is a human word for death. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity survives. Humanity conquers. And humanity is awake. Her words reached every corner of the galaxy, transmitted through hijacked communications networks and relay beacons. Every fleet, every colony, every hidden human settlement heard it. The Artemis led the vanguard, flanked by human-built dreadnoughts and allied alien vessels. Holographic projections scattered across hyperspace made it appear as though 1,000 fleets were approaching from multiple angles. In reality, the humans were fewer, but every movement was precise, every tactic unpredictable. "Captain, they're attempting to flank us," Lieutenant Huron said, analyzing the enemy's formation. Chronax dreadnoughts on the left, Tyrex command vessels on the right. Aquari support in the rear. They're committing everything. This is the final battle. Celine's gaze was unyielding. Let them come. Every assumption they make will be their undoing. The battle began in the void above the stellar system of Nereid Prime. Humanity unleashed the first of their secret weapons, adaptive graviton fields that warped space around enemy ships, distorting navigation and targeting systems. Ships collided or spun helplessly as human squadrons darted through the chaos, striking vital nodes and command bridges with pinpoint accuracy. In the midst of battle, human engineers remotely reprogrammed captured alien vessels mid-combat. Weapons fired against their former owners. Energy shields failed at critical moments. Command sequences were rerouted. Alien admirals screamed in frustration as their own fleets betrayed them. Varnock, the Tyrex admiral, roared through the comm, "What trickery is this? They are everywhere. Impossible. They anticipate our moves before we even make them." Celine transmitted a calm reply, "We are humans. Your history, your experience, your arrogance, none of it applies to us. We are not extinct. We are evolution perfected. And today the galaxy will remember it." Amid the chaos, Celine revealed humanity's next advantage: temporal micromanipulation devices that could momentarily accelerate or decelerate localized time fields. Entire squadrons of enemy ships were slowed to a crawl while human vessels moved at impossible speeds. Laser fire, missile barrages, and energy beams passed harmlessly by while human fighters danced through the battlefield like shadows. Allied species watching from afar could hardly believe their eyes. "It is impossible," one Aquari commander whispered. "They move faster than physics should allow. They anticipate every action." Even as the enemy fleet crumbled, Celine executed the final phase of her plan, a concentrated strike at the Council's central command nexus. Using hyperspace rifts, human dreadnoughts appeared inside what had been considered an impregnable perimeter. The Council's flagship, a fortress of energy and steel, erupted in controlled chaos. Energy shields failed under precision strikes, command systems overloaded, and the alien leaders realized too late that their arrogance had been their downfall. As the flagship fell, Varnock's voice crackled one last time. "Humans, how?" Celine's reply was steady, unwavering. "We are humans, and humans endure." The victory was total. The Stellar Council's fleets were shattered, their command structures in disarray, and previously hidden or oppressed species pledged allegiance to the new order humanity represented. But the triumph was more than military, it was symbolic. Humanity had risen from extinction to apex predator, not through sheer numbers or raw firepower, but through intellect, adaptability, and indomitable will. After the battle, Celine convened a council aboard the Artemis, bringing together leaders from human and allied species. "The galaxy will remember today," she said. "Not because we conquered it by force alone, but because we showed what humanity represents: resilience, cunning, and unity. Every species that joins us must understand, humans do not rule with fear. We lead through survival, strategy, and the power of intellect. Those who adapt with us will thrive. Those who resist will not be ignored again." Far across the galaxy, humanity's hidden colonies emerged from centuries of isolation. Ships once dormant lifted from hidden docks, joining the fleet that now commanded the stars. Research stations, previously thought lost, began transmitting advanced scientific data back to Central Command. Humanity was no longer a relic, it was a fully awakened force, ready to shape the galaxy according to its principles. Celine looked out at the stars, the void glittering like a tapestry of infinite possibilities. "Today we have not just survived. Today we have shown the galaxy the apex of humanity. And tomorrow, they will know that humans do not merely exist, they dominate. And across the universe, from the furthest reaches to the heart of the Council's shattered command, a single truth echoed: humanity was not extinct. Humanity was evolution perfected. Humanity was unstoppable. The final battle had been won, but the legend of humans, the apex species of the galaxy, had only just begun. The galaxy was quiet. For the first time in millennia, the stars themselves seemed to pause, as if watching the rise of a species that no one had believed could survive, let alone conquer. The remnants of the Stellar Council lay scattered: Tyrex, Kronax, Aquari, and countless smaller factions crippled by human ingenuity and resilience. Captain Celine Mori stood on the bridge of the Artemis, now orbiting the heart of the former Council stronghold. Countless stars glimmered beyond the viewports, a reminder of worlds untouched, waiting to witness humanity's rule not by fear, but by intellect and indomitable will. "Admiral," Lieutenant Huron said, scanning the aftermath, "our fleets have taken control of over 60 systems. Hundreds more are ready to join us. The galaxy is ours." Celine's gray eyes were steady. "Not ours to dominate blindly," she said. "We claim it to survive, to show the galaxy what it means to underestimate humanity. Every species that follows willingly will thrive. Every threat will face the apex." The remaining Council factions, humbled and fractured, sent emissaries to Celine. Tyrex generals bowed their carapaced heads in reluctant respect. Kronax commanders offered technology and intelligence. Aquari delegates, once dismissive, pledged cooperation. Celine addressed them through the Grand Com network, her voice calm yet resolute. "You assumed humans were extinct. You assumed weakness. You assumed history gave you superiority. You were wrong. Humanity survives. Humanity adapts. Humanity leads. The galaxy will remember this day, not for the defeat of empires, but for the rise of a species that refused to be erased." In the void beyond, human fleets moved like shadows across the stars, establishing trade routes, defense networks, and research outposts. Hidden colonies, long thought lost, emerged to join the growing confederation. Scientific stations broadcast discoveries, turning previously isolated knowledge into shared power. Humanity was no longer a species of survival, they were a civilization of apex capability, unmatched in intellect, adaptability, and strategy. Yet Celine knew the galaxy required more than force, it required inspiration. She convened a council aboard the Artemis with alien leaders and human strategists. "The galaxy must understand," she said, "that humans do not seek domination for greed or vengeance. We lead to ensure survival, to ensure innovation, to prove that intelligence, adaptability, and courage are supreme. Those who join us prosper. Those who resist." Huron's cybernetic eyes glimmered. "They will learn quickly. Humanity's reputation precedes us now. Fear will follow, yes, but also awe. They will respect us." Celine nodded. "Awe and respect, yes. But above all, humanity will endure. That is the lesson the galaxy must never forget." On Nereid Prime, human engineers and alien collaborators constructed the first interstellar academy for strategic, scientific, and cultural integration. Young humans trained alongside alien prodigies, learning not only combat but diplomacy, engineering, and adaptation. Humanity's influence extended beyond war. It was shaping the galaxy's future. Meanwhile, former Council systems rebuilt under human guidance. Planets once enslaved or neglected flourished. Trade, research, and cultural exchange blossomed. Where humans went, innovation followed, and every species witnessed a new standard of resilience and ingenuity. As Celine gazed out at the stars, Huron asked softly, "Captain, what now? We've won the war, shattered the Council, united the galaxy. Is there more?" Celine's expression softened, a rare moment of reflection. "Now we ensure it never happens again. Humanity will be the measure against which all others are judged, not because we seek supremacy but because we know what it means to endure, adapt, and rise from extinction. Today the galaxy learns that humans are not to be underestimated, ever again." In the silent void beyond the planets, distant stars shimmered, reflecting the lights of human fleets moving toward uncharted sectors. Humanity's rise had begun in secret, survived through ingenuity, and now ascended to legend. Every alien fleet that had once laughed at Earth's demise now understood a universal truth. Humans were apex, unmatched in strategy, adaptability, and sheer willpower. The final message transmitted from the Artemis echoed through the galaxy. "Remember this. Remember humans. We endure when others fall. We adapt when others stagnate. We rise when others doubt. The galaxy has witnessed the apex of our species. Humanity is not extinct. Humanity is ascendant. And we will never be forgotten. The galaxy listened. Systems once silent now buzzed with activity, knowledge, and unity. Alien fleets reorganized under human guidance, learning from the species they had dismissed. Hidden colonies emerged, fleets grew stronger, and humanity's legend became a living reality. And somewhere on a quiet blue planet long thought lost, Earth's children looked up at the stars, knowing that their species, once written off, had reshaped the galaxy forever. Humanity had returned. Humanity had conquered, not through fear alone but through intelligence, adaptability, and resilience. And the galaxy would never underestimate them again. The stars shone brighter that night, as if bearing witness to a species that had risen from the brink of extinction to claim its place at the apex of the cosmos. Humanity was no longer just a survivor. Humanity was eternal.